I did have it flicked to on previously, so possibly just being impatient, or it might, I don't know. Wow, that is quick. Hey, we're doing this bullshit again. Now, I'm back at the workshop. I've got the Brio again. I'm swearing because it stops YouTube from putting ads up, I guess. I'm sorry that it does limit some people who can watch this, but this is for me, not you, so suck it up. There is a bit of rolling shutter I can see there that keeps happening. I haven't really worked out how to deal with that yet, but I did find a 6th gen i5, which is what I'm now recording this on, and it looks like it's handling 4K, the encoding, it's not crashing, everything like that. You can also do little scene transitions now that I've got OBS running properly, so we'll see how this goes, and it should be a bit of an improvement. I can see a slight lag there, but so what? So, here's to putting up with my neighbour 5 doors down who insists everyone can hear his music, and to the good things in life, like there's kids playing outside and it's raining right now because there's a huge storm coming, winter in Australia. That's beyond the point though. Today is all about the DeskPi Super6C and the light in your eyes. This, let me just have some of this, hang on. It's something I actually bought a while ago. I've been meaning to put to use, and I got the ITX case for it as well, which I think looks really nicely made. Now, I want to use this for a number of things, but I mean, primarily you get all these CM4 boards, and I want to have x86, ARM32, ARM64, or like ARM hard float, ARM V8, and RISC-V, maybe 32-bit and 64-bit, and then a spare for testing or something. So I've just got something ready to go, so I can always compile images, test applications, benchmark, things like that on the go. And they're pretty cost effective, so let's try this scene transition crap. And there's OBS, I'm running at Ubuntu now. There's PCBWay, they're sponsoring this one, as always-ish. Check out their 10th anniversary tour, by the way. I keep forgetting to bring this up, but they do cool stuff, as you know. And they're doing a whole pile of interesting things for their 10th anniversary. What's that? Designs evolve, services refine, and memories are made. In 2024, PCBWay celebrates its 10th year. Let's embark on PCBWay's decade-long journey and unlock your exclusive memory. So I'd have to be logged in, of course, but they're doing all sorts of giveaways and things like that from what I understand. Go have a look. There'll be a link below. If you haven't used PCBWay before, even if you're not into PCB design, they've got heaps of cool stuff. So the module store is where I get all sorts from. Let me just grab my, where's shit in my drawer here? Where'd it go? I got something really cool recently. Here we go. This is the, if I switch back to Brio, this is the M scraper, and I got this from the store just because it looked really well made, and you know what? It is. Check out this thing. Just got this from the PCBWay store for not too much money. Come on, autofocus, you don't got this. No, I give up. Autofocus is a nightmare. This is stupid sharp, and what this is really useful for, if you've got, say, PCB and you've got, say, some excess solder on something, it's really easy to trim it off with this if I put it in front of the camera. Or even if you just want to clean up some edges on some PCBs, it's, as you can see, it does a good job. Comes with a sweet little leather pouch, and I got it from PCBWay. So check out their stuff because they do PCBs, but they also sell tools. They sell common modules. They also have like a projects sort of center. So if you want to find a DC motor driver, I actually did this recently. I wanted one that I could assemble myself, and you just go and have a flick through here, and other people have made them and put their projects up. And you see how many people have commented on it, viewed it, liked it. You can engage with them. Oh, that's one from the PCBWay team. Huh, look at that. So yeah, thank you PCBWay for supporting us. I use them for all the stuff, including some really cool projects coming up. Specifically for SBCs that I've designed myself. I'm making my own product properly this time. You'll see another video about that in the future. Anyway, the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, the DeskPi 6C. Let's see what this costs. Am I recording the right thing? No, there we go. DeskPi 6C, Super6C. These guys do make a pile of different products. I haven't gone through everything that they make yet. I was mostly interested in this. So it's $200 US plus shipping. But I think for a bunch of individuals that designed a product and made a product themselves, I think it might have even been a Kickstarter project. They've done bloody well. And from everything I've heard, it works really well. So essentially the first module that you put in is the one that's going to be connected to your HDMI, your USB and everything like that. All of them get gigabit Ethernet. They're all power managed. And you can see they've got SD card and eMMC underneath. So let's get into it. I don't want this one to be long. I don't want to edit it. It's already 5 o'clock on a Saturday. I've got things to do. So my drawer doesn't even close anymore. Let's get back to the Brio and have a look at this. Okay. Little booklet is really good. I got the version with the Australian Mickey Mouse cord, so that's handy. Nice looking power supply. Interesting finish on it. What's it rated for? 19 volts, 4.73 amps. This is just a standard 90 watt laptop power supply, which is really handy because you can pick these up on the cheap and you probably even have one laying around. Then here, got some screws for your, come on focus, got some screws for your NVMe, and you've got your ITX board. So what have we got here? We have a whole pile of shit in my way. Essentially, I want that thumbnail shot as well, of course. 6 CM4 slots. You've got a USB on the go for each, which would be really handy for debugging. You've also got access to what I imagine is the UART headers, a whole pile of fan controls. So there's 3 fan controls there. Some extra jumpers down there I'm not too sure about. You've got your controllers. You've got more power pins up here. So dual HDMI, micro USB, USB 2, power, status, dual gigabit LAN, power input. You've also got ATX power input if need be. You've got always on as an option here with that little switch, which is handy. You then do have a power button and a reset button. It looks nicely designed. I imagine they've revised it a few times, as you do with these sorts of things. Underneath, you can see we have pretty basic componentry, and then we've got our our M2 slots for our NVMEs. I'm hoping that's NVMe. Yeah, it would be, not SATA. Or SD. So that is going to be dependent on your module as well, because different modules do support different functions. And we're going to have to figure that one out as we go. So what I've got for this is the good old Mars Compute module. And I'm not sure if I want this to be my primary one or not. It is the one that's got the heatsink, so it can take some heavy lifting. But I've also got the Core3566, and I stock and sell these because I'm that bloody impressed with them. It is ARM. It's a quad-core A55, and this one I think is the one with 4 gig of RAM and Wi-Fi, so that gives me the most versatility. And then I also have the Pine64 SOQUARTZ. So these will be my starters for that. I've got a Wi-Fi antenna there to chuck on that, and I've got a couple of NVMe M2s. So before we start assembling that, treating it like shit, let's have a look at this case. I'm always, sorry, I've just been sanding a bench and I've got sawdust all over my hands. You also get a little booklet with that one. Ooh, oh, this is nice. All right, so we've got aluminium. Yep, so it's cut, pressed, folded aluminium. Perspex cover on it, which is going to be transparent once we take that off. Looking pretty good. Comes with your little Allen key for it too. So let's quickly open up the insides and see just how that is made. I do like that surface finish. I can't recall off the top of my head what that's called. Sprayed in some way. Yeah, you'd know. Leave a note in the comments if you can remember what this is called. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I make a lot of shit content. For me, this is going in the shit content pile because it's not about products that, you know, are new to the market. It's not about a new RISC-V ESBC or SBC, which is my primary content. It's not quite a project content like some of mine as well, like that, what was it? The smart animal trap that I've got to get back to one day. That's sitting behind me. But as life settles down, I'll have more time for these things. So we have a whole lot of stuff going on in here. Okay, so we've got our 3 fans. We've got our header pins, which is handy, and our USB ports there. We have bottom access, so you can unscrew that bottom panel to get to your storage. That's very well designed. Here we have all the screws we might need. We've also got some thermal pads, and we get a set of 3 heat sinks. Now, isn't that a coinky dink? So, I know 6 is 2 per pack. So you actually get heat sinks for the compute modules. That is really, really handy. It's probably worth getting the case just for that. So I will use this one that came, well, yeah, maybe I'll use the one that came with the Mars, but it's good that we've got that option there. Now, as for assembling it, I'm going to assume that it's self-explanatory. I haven't read the manual for these. There's some little status LEDs. I have used all of these products before. So, like all of my videos, this is what you experience when you try to use it. I'm just gonna try to do it and see what happens. Let's go for the Core3566. My good old Luckfox, link below or a card here if you want to get these. They've got a few different options. I stock 3 or 4 of them, I think, but I'm pretty chuffed with these. Onboard Wi-Fi, power management, storage, RAM, processor, RK8095, whatever that is. All right, that's the PMU, that's the Ethernet controller. Yeah, stock standard, quite nice. So let's put this in spot number 1. Oh, I've got to peel these sticky things do my head in. Now, they're on there so that in manufacturing, the little suction cup, well, from what I understand, during manufacturing, the little suction cups can pick them up for the pick and place machines. So let's just give all of these a quick little poke with like a SIM card eject tool. I mean, I don't need to do all of them, but might as well get to it while I'm here. Because I don't want to edit this video much, you're going to have to wait this one out. And I'm just going to talk crap in the meantime. Now, I do have another compute module on the way for this, if Mr. QB has sent it to me yet. There's a new product coming out that I want to test. I'd rather test it before it comes out if possible, but that does mean that it might have some flaws. So I'll shoot him an email this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, whenever, fuck me, there we go. Whenever I remember and get back to it to see if he has actually sent it. Now, I'm not going to take all of these off because they're tedious and taking up shitloads of time, but I'll take off the 3 that we're going to use. If you know of a better way to do this that's less tedious, also let me know, because I mean, shit, that works, doesn't it? They are going everywhere in here. I'm going to be finding them for weeks. Now, I'm also going to need the eMMC slots. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3. They're kind of in a slightly different order there. I'm going to need to find my adapter to make that one into a 2280 size. That's right, I've got one for that. So, back to where we were. Drinks are always important. Stay in school, kids don't do drugs and don't drink and drive. All those good things. If you do enjoy beer though, enjoy one along with me. That's actually a mid-strength, but it's a pretty good tasting mid-strength. I'm not going to tell you which one because they're not giving me money. I'm not going to promote them. Alright, these B2B connectors always make me feel a little bit uncomfortable because they're such fine pin spacings. Now, that's that out of the way. Let's put our Milk V or Milk 5. They've never actually told me how to pronounce it on the second spot. Ah, I forgot as well that this does also have Wi-Fi. So here you've got your main JH7110 processor. That would be RAM. Doesn't have onboard storage. That's the spot for it there. I got the option without it. And can't tell which is which, but I think that will be the Ethernet controller and that will be the PMU. Now, notice they've actually got plated metal screw down spots. There's only PCB on that one with a bit of silk screen. I don't actually think it matters in the slightest, but it is worth noting. I hate doing that. What's my wrist going off about? No, I think the missus has left. Shit, what time is it? Missus left work. It's nearly 5 o'clock. I've been here all bloody day, sanding and doing stuff. So this is the quartz. You've got an eMMC slot. I got the one without storage. You see how small those B2B connectors are. So that's why I'm sketch. I've damaged them before. This one also has Wi-Fi. All right, so I got all options with Wi-Fi. It's also got an onboard antenna, it looks like. And this is blue, so I've got green, white, and blue on a black board. That makes me happy for reasons I don't fully understand. Maybe developmental reasons. So here, if I put this last Wi-Fi antenna on the Luckfox board, now that would be an improvement actually. These are all going to be in a metal housing that I've already fucking lost. Here we go. Oh, you know what? They thought of that too. You've got spots to put external antennas. I'm pretty certain that's what that is. And I've got some somewhere that I promptly lost. I can... Do they include some? No. I do have some external antennas. I've got 3, I think. One I've got to desolder because I broke the little SMA connector. So now that's there. I'm going to pause recording for a tick and respond to the misses and find the extension board that I've got for that little doohickey. One moment. Alrighty, so she's just heading out to some party thing. I do have some of these, but what I've just discovered, so even though they do have the required flat spot, they just don't fit. I'm not sure why. It is so very close. Like it just starts to go and it's locking the flat spot, but it could have even be powder coating. That's the term I was looking for. It's powder coated, which means it's steel. Yeah, it's not aluminium. All right, so you definitely want your external Wi-Fi antennas. That's going to pose a little problem for me. I might actually have to drill out these holes if they're not quite standard size. Future me problems. Oh, that magnet was loud. All right, so back on this, I'm going to get the heat sinks on it shortly. As for the storage underneath, what have I got here? I've got a Union memory, so that would have been scrapped from a dead crappy Lenovo. An unknown and SK Hynix. What's that? 256, 128. All right, so we're going to put a 256 in slot 1. I might need to flash these first 2, but we will find out eventually. Now, we did have some of those NVMe screws that came with it somewhere. I thought, am I already? Yeah, here we go. M2 screws, I should say. I say NVMe, but it's because, well, technically, M2 covers a lot of standards. M2 can have UART, PCIe, NVMe, SATA, lots of other things, USB. Now, NVMe is kind of like a replacement for SATA. Correct me in the comments if you want, I don't really care. Essentially, you know, with flash storage and with flash storage over M2, there was inadequacies in the SATA protocol for a number of reasons. And it was, well, it's kind of almost the AHCI was almost the issue there. So it was expanded to a degree. And how does this work? Does that goes, it's going to go that way? Yeah. So it was expanded or recreated, and NVM Express, non-volatile memory Express, was created. And it was just in Slashdot last week, actually, for new standards coming out, some of the cool new things that they're doing, including more modern encryption support, so encrypted data in transit. And, okay, this is definitely funky, I think that's right, and things like that. So you can get, that's why they have the different key cuttings. You can get M2 drives that are SATA. I've got one somewhere, I stuck it in something. You can get M2 drives that are NVMe. And it's good to be aware of because they're not necessarily cross-compatible. Depends what controller they're connecting to and what interface is exposed on the device itself. Don't know why I picked that one. I've got a pile of others that I could have chosen. Now, I've used 4 screws there, and it comes with 4 more. So they do actually give you 2 spares, which is extremely handy. Thank you kindly. That's essentially set up how it should be. What I'm going to do now, I'm not going to bother putting the heat sinks on. I'm going to plug the power in, and we'll just have a look at what happens. For this, I will pause for a tick, and I'm going to put my USB capture card in place so we can watch together. One moment. All right, so that's sorted out. Now, before anyone complains, I do actually have an anti-static mat here. People crap on about no SD protection. I do have one that's just been... I'm not sure if that was recording then, it popped up saying it was having an issue. I got pissed on by a mouse the other day. I do have one. However, what some people don't realize is anti-static mats and ESD safe mats are conductive. That's what makes them safe. There's no potential. Everything's at the same voltage, it's discharged. So I'm not using that because it would possibly cook it. I'm using this non-conductive cutting mat because I quite like these things. I've got piles of them, and the white one's quite good for showing off this content. That light is a bit, whatever, I'll leave it there. Sorry, wobbly camera haters. Now, capture going into my USB-C capture card, 1080, I'll scale it up. That's in HDMI 1, that's connected to this. None of these are flashed with anything. The storage, I mean, it's got Windows, it's probably not gonna do shit. And I've got my brick plugged in to the wall. So, we'll go over to our capture device. We've got some blinking lights. Is it gonna give us some HDMI? Let's wait for that last green light to come on, yep. Nothing on HDMI, it's just sitting there looking like that. So, let's go back and test the Luckfox, because that was seemingly flashing some activity. A lot of people call these Lucky Fox as well. I don't know why, but, you know, hell, I'm actually wearing my lucky red underwear today for the Year of the Dragon. Turn that on. Go to the capture device. All right, the activity light's blinking. All the lights are blinking. Still not getting anything. All right, at least if you're getting this, you know it's normal. It's almost certainly, because we have no image on this, the bootloader is probably putting things out, but only to UART. So, very fair. Let's turn this one off. And whilst I don't have high hopes for any video output without an image, like I said, it is actually possible, but just to test all three equally, there's the SOQUARTZ. So, turn her on, power across the board, see if the capture device has anything. Has some very pretty colors for us. Well, some of them are pretty. And nobody's home. All right, that's pretty much what we expected. So what I'm going to do now is, I didn't even look at these jumper pins or what they mean. Let's turn that off for a minute, in case I'm doing something very wrong. So, NRPI boot, BT disable, WL disable. So someone in this explains this a bit better. So those, NRPI boot. So that's the ground side. They're just shorting ground to ground at the moment, so you're not using them. Bluetooth not disable? I don't know. And disable wireless LAN and disable EEPROM and disable 5-volt CM4 GPIO 18. Do they say any more about that? Just say give it a good squeeze. It'll crunch into place. That is the worst terminology, but that's exactly how it feels. Build your own cluster and manage the cluster with Ansible, latest Raspberry Pi OS, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, that's all stock standard. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to burn these images to the eMMC modules, to the M2 modules. I've downloaded what is an eMMC for each, because I believe these should boot the eMMC image from the M2. If I'm wrong, I'll probably have to make a second video because I'm getting tired and hungry. We'll see what happens though. Hold please. Alright, here's a cool trick. I left my NVMe, M2 NVMe to USB reader writer at the other house. So as I said, I'm still moving out here. So I've got 3 SD cards I'm going to use instead. These Lexar ones are pretty good for their price. I got, what's that? A 32, a 64 and a 32. I also have these for sale. I think I've only got 32s left if you want one. This video is getting long, so I'm going to quickly install Platima Etcher and use that to flash these, and we'll try them out. I've already pulled the NVMEs off here. Let me get to it. Alright, so I didn't use Platima Etcher, I just used the built-in Ubuntu Disks tool. I'll just grab this out, the computer. And I'm hoping that it works, because the way these all deal with storage, like where they support their onboard eMMC or SD or any other storage protocol, is really dependent on how each board's designed, and there is a common expectation through the CM4 form factors of how they'll behave. But with some of them, eMMC and SD will both share the same SDIO 3.0 interface. Some of them they won't, things like that. So I'm just hoping this works. I don't know about boot selection. Don't want to lose those. Boot selection pins. So what we'll do is for number 1, which is here, we're going to put in the SD card. We'll pop on the Luckfox and we'll turn it back on and see what happens. Power, we'll flick to the capture. I'll let you know when all the lights are on. All right, we're getting an activity flicker. So that activity flicker light and LAN flicker light, the activity flicker is what it does when it's booting. That's our, we know from using Luckfox products that that's how they work. So we'll give it a minute to boot up. It may not initialize the HDMI output until it's finished booting. Now that we've got an image, it's worth waiting for it to finish booting. When there wasn't an image before, it of course didn't matter so much. Now, there may be boot mode selection that we need to do for each individual product. If this doesn't work, I will look at that and probably do a part 2 video. But for now, we're just going to see what she does. So you see what's going on back here. Not a whole lot. Now this is the HDMI image, I believe, that I got for this. What did I have here? Downloads. Yeah, Ubuntu ARM64 HDMI. So, it may or may not be working. I'm not going to connect to the Ethernet interface right now to have a look. I'm not going to have a look at the UART. I mostly want to see what the others do because this is getting long. So, now we'll go back to the Brio, we'll turn that off, and we'll do the old swapperoo. Wouldn't it be funny if I just got all the SD card images mixed up? I did pay attention to which was which though, which is why they're put near each other. Now, that Luckfox SD card, after I flashed it, it didn't actually show a recognized file system. With this one, for the Milk v Mars, for example, it recognized the file system. So maybe that was a dud image or something, I'm not too sure. Let's try this one now. Now, infamously, depending on who you ask, when the Mars SBC or ESBC booted, it had the splash screen. So we knew something was going on straight away. I'm just going to try both. No, nothing. All right, we got the activity light. Oh, activity light on the board. Where are you? I'll flick back to the Brio so you can see. So we've got the activity light there going. And we don't have the activity light on the board going. Okay, now on the board it's doing something. Let's go back. Capture's still got nobody home. And I know the capture's working now because I've tested that one. We'll just wait another moment for this one, just in case, because the lights are changing a little bit, as you can see. Although we don't have the red power light that normally comes on here. So be it. I did crunch it down properly, but I don't think this is doing anything. We've waited long enough for that one, so let's try remembering to switch scene. And last but not least, the SOQUARTZ. Now, just to be really clear, graphics output on these devices is usually a hit and a miss. And that's why I'm trying this. Graphics and Wi-Fi are the two things with any SBCs, ESBCs, just embedded computers even, where it really can be, sorry, a swing and a miss. And the reason is because they're not designed for HDMI output. interestingly, this one actually might need eMMC on board, but we'll see what happens. It should support the SD card, and I'm using the DietPi image that you can find on their website in the wiki. So these might all work well and good in their own right, and what I will do is leave them all powered on with their images, and I'll plug a network cable in, and I'll have a look when I'm back home somewhere warm, because I'm in a workshop now, which is barely over 10 degrees Celsius, cold as hell, just for you guys. That's in, let's turn it on, see what she's made of. Have a drinky poo while I'm at it. Now this image is the DietPi SOQUARTZ V8 bookworm image. We do have activity going on, as you can see there. Is that a thumbnail shot? No, I don't think that's a thumbnail shot. Does look cool though. I'm also aware that there is the compute blade. Someone reached out to me recently and told me about it or knew something about it. I did reply. I can't find that bloody reply, but I know I did. I'm happy to try these things out. I actually do spend a lot of money on this stuff. Like this whole thing was about maybe 500 Australian. You saw this was $2.99 or $1.99 US, plus the case, plus shipping, plus the SD cards. It does add up. I do have a finite budget, but if you have something you want me to test, do tell me, because the more people that ask for a specific thing, the more likely I am to actually use it. Oh, let's check this capture. No, still nobody's home. Interesting. Sweet. Huh. My missus telling me she's home. Somebody is home. So, yeah, nothing on either of these, which is really, really interesting. So, I will put this back together for now. I'm going to put it in the case too, just so it's nice and protected. It's got a lot of flies and dust and everything out here. But if you have any feedback, let me know as well. And if you make products like this, feel free to send them to me to test. I do apologize that I don't read the instructions. Most people don't. That's why I do this. So this is the out-of-the-box experience for your average Joe. I'll put it back together. I'll stick it on the LAN and see what's going on. There's 100 other things that can be. Actually, what I'll quickly test, I've got these as well. IO4 baseboard, IO CM4 to Pi 4 adapter. So I sell these in the shop. And these can be a really good way to deal with one at a time, especially if you want the 40 pin outputs for the UARTs and whatnot. So, or the camera interface. So if we quickly try that, what powers it on? USB-C, grab one of those out the drawer. Oh, get in the way of it. All right. The CM4 to Pi 4 adapter doesn't do HDMI. There is a CM4 IO baseboard though. Now, I believe this should be fully compatible with the Luckfox, because they are sister companies essentially. And would you look at that beautiful HDMI interface? So let's get the Luckfox, get it mounted, and crunched into place. Tiny RTC battery. I love it when things support RTC batteries. Now this also has RTC, SD, eMMC, USB, HDMI, camera, display, 40 pin, fan jumpers, Ethernet, USB 2. It's got a lot going on, and I think that might be on the go. But let's just quickly try this instead as an option. We'll turn this off so we don't hurt it. Don't need that power supply. We'll grab this HDMI input. Got our board on there. We've got our SD card in. Give us some juice. And I don't know what that power switch is for. We'll turn it on. Hey, instantly. Woo! Look at that. All right, so whilst that's booting, something about the HDMI interface on this isn't aligning with the needs and wants of the Luckfox. That's good to know. Holy hell, that's already a desktop. Is that an off switch? No, so if you have a look here, oh, that's to do with the boot. All right. So let's just see how quickly that boots. I'm just going to yank the power out, not that I ever recommend that, and putting it back in 3, 2, 1, click. That's pretty sweet. This is off SD as well. Oh, which one? I remember which one I use. It's doing something. It might be doing something different because I flicked that boot switch. We'll get a few seconds. Activity light's blinking. Forgot, I've got a fan running behind me now, sorry, because it's getting cold in here, little foot heater. All right, I'm gonna, it was this little boot switch, so that's probably a boot selection switch. I'll just turn that off and plug it back in as well. I did have it flicked to on previously, so possibly just being impatient, or it might, I don't know. Wow, that is quick. So that's with boot off, whatever that means. That was quick and impressive. All right, so I'm going to turn it off. What I'll do now, turn that off, pop that out. It's the wrong size, but I reckon if I just kind of jimmy that in place, and it's just sitting on it, it's not going to go anywhere. See what she does. All right, let's go back to capture, and 3, 2, 1, plugged. Now that could, is that on the eMMC, or sorry, is that on that NVMe, or is that in the SPI flash? I don't know if that images, that is awesome. I'm very happy with that. Let's quickly try those others. This has got me excited now. All right, so this is what I want the CM4 to do. That it didn't out of the box. What I'll do is I'll go back and I'll read the manual for once, because obviously, sorry, not CM4. What I wanted the DeskPi, you get what I mean. Long ass days. So if we go back here, I'm going to put that one there. That was the SD card that went with it. We'll now grab the Mars and we'll do the same thing. Crunchy time. Get that out of the way. Crunch that on there. Mars SD card. HDMI. Over to the capture device. Give us some juice. All the LEDs are on. Hey! Wow, these little balls work with everything apparently. I still don't know what that boot switch does, but is this actually going to boot to an OS? Oh, we lost our image. Give it a tick. The LEDs are changing. Some of them are flashing now. There we go. All right. That's... taking a long time to boot. It's doing a lot, but so be it. That's perfectly fine. It's working, which is a cool thing. GDM, come on. That Luckfox image was optimized though. Jesus Christ. Oh, this beer's empty. It is taking its sweet time to do something. There we go. All right. Demi 11. Nice, nice. So we'll try the same thing again. Back here, I'm going to pop that out. Pop that out. That one can go there. Pretty certain. I'm going to put that there as well. That was up. Pretty certain to use this for the Mars image. We'll know in a few seconds. Pardon me. In theory, that's the same interface. So capture. I'm really confused now that I think of it, because I didn't flash this. Oh, I'm a spud. This has got onboard storage. This is booting from the onboard storage, not even from the SD card. All right. So we know the Mars was booting from the SD card. I don't even know why I'm testing these eMMCs. They're not flashed with anything. This is why I need to go home and have some food and go to bed. So let's just take that out, because we know that's got nothing on it. And we'll grab our last one to test. We'll pop that off. Get off it there. And we'll grab the SOQUARTZ just to see what she does. And oh, Jesus, that launched. And we'll do the same test with this, because then we know what we should be getting. if it is wired right. That boot switch is off, the SD card is in, and I may end up doing a part 2. Because this has got an interesting and fun. In she goes. That is definitely mounted. Over to the capture device. Again, I'm not sure if you saw then, but 2 of the LEDs are only half baked when they came on. Hey, there we go. All right. All of them work with HDMI. Doesn't say anything in here in the little booklet it comes with about the HDMI ports. It just says connect to HDMI. There is some Q&A though. So whilst that's sitting there doing nothing, which is compatible, where does it boot OS? It gets on up. Well, these are some dumbass questions. 2 HDMI ports are also the same. No, they're fucking not. Alright, that's a dumb little booklet. That's not working. I'm a dumbass. It's putting it in the wrong slot. So we'll test them both again. That is in slot 1. Power it on. Go to capture. Oh, that's the Luckfox I've put back on. This is how tired and dumb I am. We don't even need that SD card because I've put the Luckfox in, not the... We know the Luckfox works. Take... Switch back so you can see me being dumb. Take the Luckfox off. We know that works. Let's go Milk v Mars. SD card goes in this one. Alright. It's in. For God's sake, now I'm going to try again. Capture. Come on, baby. Alright. Boot splash. Give us a bit more than that though, please. Now that I've put you in the right SD card slot. Is that progress? I don't know. Activity lights are flashing. Things are going... Yes! Alright. So we know that works. Alright. We're finally making progress. I don't know which bit I want to use for the intro either. How fast the Luckfox was or finally making progress. So we'll pop that out. So the first time would have worked if we had actually used the right HDMI output. I don't get why HDMI 2 is the correct output though. Is it because of the version like HDMI 2.0 versus HDMI 1.4? I don't know. I just don't know these things. If you do know, let me know. If you don't know, also leave a comment saying you don't know. You know why? Because YouTube loves engagement. The algorithm is fucking... Pardon my non-PC language. I know that's a bad word to use. It's going to stop YouTube putting ads on here. But it is the right word for YouTube, isn't it? Alright, we're getting some activity. Did I put it in the right... Yeah, I put it in the right slot. There we go. That's booting too. Sweet. So this does work. We were doing all the right things. We just had the wrong HDMI port because the documentation is lacking. And they are probably ordered backwards. I don't know why. But that is the DeskPi, what they call it, Super6C. I am still quite happy with it. The wiki probably has better documentation than what this is. Don't forget, if you've lasted an hour, congrats. You're an idiot, but congrats. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You should definitely like and subscribe lasting this long because you clearly do like it and want to see more. Or you're asleep. I would fully understand if you're asleep too. I need to go do that, so I'm going to leave you with that. But thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this and sending me, well, you'll see in a video when it's coming up, they're sending me some cool stuff, and, well, sending those other little tools that I was showing you, including the DSO in one of my recent videos. I'm going to get this put into the box. I'm going to play with it some more. There might be a second video, but we know it works. We know how to use it. We know about that. I hope you're all doing well. Have a great weekend. Catch you next time.